Venom: The Last Dance has now greeted the fans who have waited a long time for this movie to come as the closing of the trilogy. In this video, I will invite you to discuss the ending and post-credit scene and some interesting things in the movie. As usual, before I start, there must be a spoiler warning for those of you who haven't watched this movie. The third Venom movie has the title of The Last Dance, which tells us from the beginning that Eddie and Venom will part ways. Venom faces Xenophage, which is a beast created by Null. Venom and other symbiotes had to fight hard to face the threat, but they were helpless. Venom eventually absorbed the power of the Xenophage and sacrificed himself by throwing his body into the acid to annihilate the aliens. Before falling, Venom separated himself from Eddie to save his host, and his last words were, "Goodbye." This shows the deep emotional bond between them. The key to the plot is actually the Codex. Null's plan to escape his shackles depends on his access to the Codex that is formed when a symbiote saves its host's life, and their powers eventually unite. In this case, the Codex was formed at the end of the first movie, when he saved Eddie from a riot attack at the time. Eddie, in Venom's dying condition, was finally willing to sacrifice himself and give him the title of the Little Protector. There are still 2 Venom fragments that have not been identified. One fragment is in the MCU, which was seen in the post-credit scene of Spider-Man: No Way Home, which might be the key to Venom's fate in the MCU, whether he will actually join and will appear in Secret Wars or not. And the other one is in Rex's custody after he picked it up at the same bar in his own universe. There is a hint in the post-credit scene of Venom: The Last Dance that the containment device used by Rex to trap the symbiote fragment was damaged during the battle in Area 55, which allowed the symbiote fragment to escape. This means the possibility of a reunion between Venom and Eddie still remains, even though it has been confirmed that this will be Tom Hardy's last film as Venom and Eddie Brock. After the battle is over, Eddie is injured but survives, and wakes up in the hospital where he receives news that his criminal record has been expunged, and he gets a heartfelt thank you from his country along with the note. The general who meets Eddie tells him that Eddie can no longer reveal any details about what happened, or he will be thrown into the deepest, darkest hole imaginable. So what will happen next? Venom: The Last Dance emphasizes that Eddie will be a good father, which of course is related to the fact that in the comics, Eddie Brock has a son named Dylan Brock. Tom Hardy also openly expressed his desire to meet Spider-Man, and he was present at the New York Comic-Con 2024 yesterday and said that he was willing to do a crossover and he would be happy if he was really given the opportunity to fight Spider-Man. So this could be used as a hint that actually Tom Hardy's journey as Eddie Brock is not really over, depending on the opportunity between Marvel and Disney and Sony about the use of the Venom character, whether it will appear or be included in the MCU or not. There is a possibility that Null will cross the MCU and indeed may have the power to switch multiverses. But interestingly, Kelly Marshall as director also talks about life in the symbiote franchise, even though the fate of Venom has not been revealed, so most likely the comic adaptation of King in Black can still be a reality in Sony's universe. This movie has 2 post-credit scenes, which are actually interesting. The first post-credit scene takes us back to Null. After his defeat, he angrily swore revenge, threatening the universe with a terrible promise. He said, like this, "Your champion has fallen, planets will be mine, the King in Black is awake. I will kill your world. Everyone will burn, and you will watch." Well, according to director Kelly Marcel, we will see more of Null in the future. For the second post-credit scene, shows us back to the location of Area 51 that has been blown up, caused by Rex in the middle of all the ruins of Area 51. We again meet the bartender played by Christoph Fernandez, who seems to be trying to find help. The camera then switches focus to a cockroach approaching a device where Rex had stored the Venom symbiote fragment with an electric spark coming out of the device. It seems that the fragment was freed, which indicates the return of the symbiote. Do you guys think of a theory? Or maybe there is another explanation that doesn't fit with our explanation this time? Don't hesitate to add it in the comments column below.